Israel is a freaking evil country.
Our international systems are betraying Palestinians. What we are doing is the bare minimum.
And they are the only people doing the very minimum. Trump said Israel to withdraw from Gaza in phases under the deal. Now his plan is a little bizarre. All eyes on Gaza. Now I'm going to cover a story which is going to definitely get me demonetized and suppression hone wala hai YouTube pe, because I'm going to talk about Palestine, Israel and the genocide in Gaza. That one sentence is enough to get me demonetized. So please support channel if you want more updates and news updates and etc. against the YouTube algorithm, if you want to put it. Anyway, today is October 7th. Today was the day 2 years ago when the attack happened. Hamas attacked Israel and killed about 1,200 people. There was this massive attack that went on for 3 hours. It was being live streamed and they took 250 people hostage, Hamas. And since then, Israel has launched a war on Gaza and it's been 2 years, and in revenge, they have done this. More than 67,000 Palestinians have been killed in 2 years. 67,000. 20,000 are children, which equals to one child killed every hour. 1 out of 33 people in Gaza are dead. Just the sheer scale of this is a little insane. At least 169,000 Palestinians have been injured over the past 2 years, many with life-altering wounds. 1 out of every 14 people in Gaza. More than 10,800 Palestinians are being held hostage in Israeli prisons under grave conditions. 450 of them are children and 87 women. 3,629 are being held without charge or trial. Right? So it's been 2 years since this has started, and this is where we are right now. I have to say something about this, which is the entire world has ignored what is going on. Like, top leadership of every country practically has been ignoring this horrible genocide that is happening in Palestine. Netanyahu has been practically being given a free hand by the United States of America, and America continues to supply them with weapons. Israeli funding organizations continue to spend money to buy TikTok and to fund politicians in US, which is practically leading to no answer, no accountability, nothing. Another big event that happened a week ago was that a bunch of countries have recognized Palestine as a separate state, which earlier was not a thing. United States still hasn't. India has already recognized Palestine as a separate state a while ago. So, having said this, there is this one brave attempt that was being made recently. It was called the Sumud Flotilla. A bunch of activists from multiple countries, 597 of them in 50 boats. They started from Spain and they were going to Gaza. Now, one small detail here, Gaza has had a blockade long before the current war started. In 2002 or 2008 was when the last ship actually was allowed to dock on the beach that connects the Gaza Strip. So 50 boats containing 500 people from multiple countries, which includes lawmakers, activists, doctors, journalists. Greta Thunberg left from Barcelona in Spain and they were going to Gaza. Right? They started in September and they were going to end up here somewhere around Friday. Right? 1st of October. So they had some drone attacks that happened on them in the middle of the night. Some 6 boats were, I think, disabled or they had snags, so they had to go back. So a few boats continued on. And what happened eventually when they reached near Gaza was that the Israeli forces, they came, the Navy came, they surrounded these flotillas and they raided them. They arrested all the people and then for 3 days they put them in jail. Jail in the sense they had detained them. They had put them in custody. Not technically arrested, but detained all of these people. And now they have been extracted from Israel and sent back to their countries. One of them was Greta Thunberg. Now, for those of you who don't know, Greta Thunberg is an activist. She's a climate change activist. She's 22 years old. She was one of the prominent people who is leading the second flotilla to break the blockade. Their whole thing was, we are taking humanitarian aid to Gaza Please let us in. There are no weapons. There is nothing. Please let us in. Israel didn't let them in. So they committed another war crime, essentially. But that's not all. There are insane allegations now being made about how they treated Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg mistreated by Israeli forces in detention, activists say. Turkish journalist and Gaza Sumud Flotilla participant Ersin Selik told local media he witnessed Israeli forces torture Greta Thunberg, describing how she was dragged on the ground and forced to kiss the Israeli flag. Malaysian activist gave similar accounts at Istanbul airport, alleging Thunberg was shoved and paraded with an Israeli flag. They treated us like animals. They also said that while they were there for 3 days, Israel did not give them water. Israel did not let them go to toilet. They had to drink out of the toilet, and they were completely dehumanized and mistreated. And I completely believe these accounts because it's Israel. Israel is a freaking evil country at this point, and IDF are Death Eaters, Netanyahu being the Voldemort. Now, Greta Thunberg, now you would think that she would come out and she would make it a thing. She would say, she will scream that, oh, look how they mistreated me, look how they did that, look how they did this. Well, this is the speech that she gave after she came out.
Let me be very clear. There is a genocide going on in front of our very eyes. A live streamed genocide on all of our folks. No one has the privilege to say we are not aware of what's happening. No one in the future will be able to say we did not know. Under international law, states have a legal obligation to act to prevent and to stop a genocide from happening. That means ending complicity, applying real pressure, and ending arms transfers. We are not seeing that. We are not even seeing the bare minimum from our governments. Our international systems are betraying Palestinians. They are not even able to prevent the worst war crimes from happening. And I will never ever comprehend how humans can be so evil that you would deliberately starve millions of people living trapped under an illegal siege as a continuation of decades and decades of suffocating oppression, apartheid, occupation. What we aim to do with the Global Sumud Flotilla was to step up when our governments fail to do their legal obligation. Our governments are talking about ensuring human rights and the importance of getting humanitarian aid to Gaza, while failing to do their part and while failing to even the bare minimum ensuring safety for this mission. This mission should not have to exist. And it is a shame that the Global Sumud Flotilla was the biggest ever attempt to break Israel's illegal and inhumane siege by sea. And it is a story of global international solidarity, of people stepping up when our governments fail to do so, of people saying that my leaders, so-called leaders who are supposed to represent me, who continue to fuel a genocide, death and destruction, they do not represent me.
Precisely.
And this is a last
Precisely.
resort. This mission has to exist. It's a shame. It is a shame. And I could talk for a very, very long time about our mistreatment and abuses in our imprisonment, trust me, but that is not the story. What happened here was that Israel, while continuing to worsen and escalate their genocide and mass destruction with genocidal intent, attempting to erase an entire population, an entire nation in front of our very eyes.
See, this is why I respect this little girl. Again, I will call her a little girl, but like, I don't mean it derogatory. She's 22. She's so brave. She's insanely brave that after what has happened to her, she says that I don't want me to be the story, because the real story is the genocide and the killing of children that Israel is doing in Palestine. Mad respect for her and what she's doing along with all these other activists that have attempted to break the siege.
They once again violated international law by preventing humanitarian aid from getting into Gaza while people are being starved. And we want to also emphasize that we do not only need humanitarian aid to end in Gaza, we need an end to the siege, we need an end to the occupation and the oppression. This action was challenging our extremely violent business as usual that is preventing these war crimes from happening. And that is what this story is about. We cannot take our eyes away from Gaza, from all the places of the world that are suffering, living on the forefronts of this business as usual systems, Congo, Sudan, Afghanistan, Gaza, and many, many more. What we are doing is the bare minimum.
And they are the only people doing the very minimum, essentially. And there has been extreme attempts to demonize her after this. If you go anywhere on the internet, you will not find good coverage of this. You will not find this speech anywhere else. There are only private handles which are sharing this. YouTube channels are also not sharing this because they get demonetized immediately after they play things by Greta Thunberg, or they even mention the G word, which I have many times. If you talk about Israel-Palestine, there will be a note niche, Wikipedia note. It's horrible. This will be suppressed, and that's why I wanted to play this speech. The other big update, meanwhile, is that Trump has been doing his random thing. Now, White House releases Gaza peace plan as Trump meets Netanyahu. Trump said Israel to withdraw from Gaza in phases under the deal. Hamas negotiators will review the plan in good faith and provide response. So, Donald Trump, meanwhile, has been desperately trying to get the Nobel Peace Prize, in case you didn't notice. So, this is his latest attempt, where he has put out a plan to end the war in Gaza. He also announced it in front of Netanyahu, literally in front of him. Now, his plan is a little bizarre. I'll just tell you in brief what it is. Okay. First is, you have to understand, this is Gaza. This is the current IDF control line. People have been pushed to this level. This used to be Gaza. This is the actual blockade. And in the last 2 years, they have been pushed to this control line. His plan is to first, these people, the Hamas, whoever is left, has to release the hostages that they had taken 2 years ago. Now, initially they said they had taken 250 hostages, but over time they have already released most of them. 40 of them are left. 20 of them are thought to be alive. 20 are, I think, already dead. A lot of them because of Israel bombing indiscriminately also, by the way. So they have to release these 20 people immediately. If they do that, then the Israeli army will go back to initial withdrawal, which is this yellow line. So after the hostages withdrawal, then Israel has to release the hostages also. The number I've already told you. Officially, how many they will release, etc., I don't know. But some reports are saying about 1,800 people will be released by Israel who are in prison currently. Okay. Then after that happens, the second withdrawal, so they will implement an international security foundation, federation, something, a committee which will be led by Donald Trump and Tony Blair. Remember that guy? Yeah, the colonizer, that guy. So both of them will lead a committee which will then implement a pseudo government which will be run by technocrats, which means they will appoint people like Elon Musk probably, or Jared Kushner, or some ridiculous Zionist money people to be a part of this committee, technocrats, and they will rule Gaza. They will govern Gaza for the foreseeable future. Another condition till the second withdrawal happens. So first they will implement this committee. Then they have said that Hamas has to completely demilitarize themselves. Matlab, jo bhi weapons hai, everything needs to be given up. They have to surrender. They have to say that, okay, we were Hamas. We will not do this anymore. We will give up our weapons, etc. That is when the Israeli forces will go to the red line. After all of this happens, after this, Israel is also like, okay, fine, now we are done, and they are also done. And then the ISF is also convinced that, oh, okay, fine, now peace is returning to Gaza. That is when full withdrawal will happen and they will go back to the security buffer, which is this line. That is essentially the plan that Trump has proposed, and he said that there needs to be immediate ceasefire, and immediately Hamas has to return the hostages. Now, another thing that happened is that Hamas responded, and Trump is now claiming that we are very close to the deal. We are not quite finished. We have to get to Hamas. Netanyahu, on the other hand, responded to this saying, if Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President, or if they supposedly accept it and then do everything to counter it, then Israel will finish the job by itself. Which means Trump is telling Hamas, which by the way doesn't exist anymore. You do realize all the top leadership of Hamas is dead. There is literally no Hamas per se left in Gaza. There is nobody. Okay. But there are apparently some spokespersons which they are still talking to about this plan. So Hamas came out and said, okay, we accept the plan. Now Netanyahu has responded saying, okay, ek to if Hamas rejects your plan or if they accept it, but then do something to counter it, which means that even if they accept it, Israel will decide whether they will accept them accepting it. Otherwise, they are going to go and finish the job itself. What does that mean? They're going to continue the genocide. That is what they want to do. Netanyahu has lost it. I highly recommend you go watch Last Week Tonight. They have done an entire video on Netanyahu. The man is insane. There are two very right-wing people, Ben Gvir and Smotrich, in Israel. When they heard that this plan is happening, they have threatened Netanyahu that they will withdraw from the government, which means that the government will fall. So Netanyahu, very unlikely that he will go with Trump's plan. And as predicted, he has gone to some channels. I couldn't find the video. And in Hebrew, he said that he doesn't accept the plan. So in English, he sat with Trump and said, okay, we'll do it. And also, another thing, they continue to bomb Gaza. The bombing continues. So even after he said that, okay, we accept it, or not, or maybe, Hamas has accepted it. Whoever is left in the Hamas has accepted Trump's plan. Trump has accepted it. Many world leaders have said, oh, good, Mr. Trump. Thank you. Now we all accept it. Please stop this war. Netanyahu continues to bomb Gaza. 47 people are dead as of 2 days ago. So yeah, that's the situation. It is extremely shameful what is happening. It is horrible. I usually don't cover this because it is horrible, but I thought it's very important to tell you what is going on. Yeah, we are being ruled by some evil men. The world is being ruled by some evil men. Please be wary and please all eyes on Gaza.